What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new game on the channel, Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader. Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader is an RPG just like Baldur's Gate 3 was. We loved Baldur's Gate 3 on the channel. I'm hoping we'll love Rogue Trader as well. Now, I want this to be 100% run. What that means for everybody coming in that doesn't know is I want to run through the game as many times as it takes and get all of the achievements. The first time we run through it, I don't look anything up. I usually try to play on the hardest difficulty, but I've heard the hardest difficulty in these Owlcat games is ridiculous. We'll probably still try it. If we can't get there, we'll bump it down. It's no big deal. I know nothing about Rogue Trader. I knew a little bit about Pathfinder or D&D or 5e or whatever it was that was in Baldur's Gate 3. I know nothing about Rogue Trader. So this is going to be an interesting one. This first episode here, episode 0, just going to be our character creation. So strap in if you're interested in that. I think it'll be a great time. We're going to be doing a lot of reading in this series. I already know that. So if you want a long, arduous, slow, but hopefully fun playthrough, hop on in. There's going to be a lot of saves coming. And it's going to be a great time. We as developers are always striving to improve our work. To do this, we need your information we can only get from you by sending game statistics and bug reports. You can help us learn more about the way you play and what difficulties you encounter in our game. Since this game is based on Unity technology, we use Unity and analytics to analyze your game experience data. You can opt out of the data collection at any time from the settings menu. Would you like to accept? Sure, why not? I don't care. All right, the main story. Take up the mantle of a rogue trader, the scion of an ancient dynasty of daring privateers that reign over their trade protectorate and explore the fringes of the known galaxy. Darkness looms over the bloodline of von Valancius as it faces multiple threats from within its own ranks, and without its countless enemies seek to destroy the most daring and brave agents of humanity. It is up to you to hold the reins of this shattered protectorate and forge a new path for the von Valancius dynasty, currently finding itself in a vortex of wars, intrigues, calamities, and heresy. The stakes are high and rise even higher as you cross paths with terrifyingly powerful and ambitious adversaries in the darkness of the Koronus Expanse. Sounds fantastic. Alright, here's the difficulties. Normal. Enemy stats are reduced by 20. That doesn't sound normal to me. This would sound normal. Zeroed out on everything. Enemy stats, including wounds and dodge, are not reduced. Enemies inflict full damage. The party's momentum gains are not scaled. Minimum damage for party members is 0 or 10%, whichever is greater, after all modifiers have been applied. Party members' resolve is equal to its base value. The chance to hit cover when shooting at enemies is equal to its base chance. A party member receives an injury if they receive damage that is equal to or higher than 50% of their total wounds in one round. Don't know what most of those words mean, but we can probably piece a lot of them together. It's harder. Not recommended for players not familiar. That's me. Not recommended for me. Got it. Cool. Hard. We see the bump ups. Not recommended for people not familiar. Definitely not recommended for me. Unfair. Which is what we're going to be starting with. It's unfair though, so we're probably going to be screwed and we're probably going to have to start over, but whatever. Enemy stats are increased by 20%. Enemy wounds are increased by 80%. Whoa, look at the jump there. This is what I would consider normal difficulty. I consider this easy, and this is story mode. This is easy. So yeah, this is easy, or this is story mode. This is easy. This is normal. This is hard. This is unfair. Plus 20% enemy wounds on unfair, or on hard. Plus 80% on unfair. What? Damage is inflicted is increased by 20%. Enemy dodge is increased by 20%. Momentum gains are decreased by 25%. I don't even know what momentum is, but okay. Increased by 20% for half cover, 30% for full cover. Receives injury if they receive damage that is equal to or higher than 30%. Gradually, these modifiers increase gradually up to the values above, reaching them by the end of chapter 1. So they don't start out here, but by the end of chapter 1, they get there. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna check it out. Choosing this difficulty is not recommended for players not familiar already with the Rogue Trader systems as well as its implementation of the game. Yeah, we're gonna cry. It's fine. We're going to customize our own character for sure, create our very own Rogue Trader from scratch. The possibilities are endless when customizing your character and choosing their homeworld, gender, and background. You can also choose from a wide variety of abilities and skills such as combat skills, social skills, and technical skills. These abilities and skills determine how your character interacts with the world and what kind of challenges they can overcome. Finally, you can choose your character's archetype. Each archetype path offers its own unique set of opportunities and challenges, so choose wisely. With all of these customization options at your fingertips, you can create a rogue trader that's truly one of a kind and embark on an adventure unlike any other in the world of Warhammer 40K. All right, well, let's check out these portraits here. I'm thinking, so when I think 40K, two things come to mind. One, freaking giant chain swords. Two, power armor. I don't know if these things are possible in this game, but I'm gonna try to get me a freaking giant melee weapon and smack some people around. So we need a man that's fit for that job. This man looks like he might be fit for it. Looks a little bit more like the officer type. Does have a sword though, but also a gun. Let's see. You look cool. You look like some like tech priest looking guy. All right, I see you. Okay, he looks pretty cool too. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go with that top one up there though. This guy looks like he's ready for it, man. He's got the build. So we can change his face around if we wanted to, I guess. Guys, zoom in on him. Yeah, turn him. I think I liked 3, honestly. Yeah, we'll go with that first body. Make him a little bit darker. There we go. Hair. If you guys have been watching me for any amount of time, you know I kind of like to go for like a little bit of a longer, shaggier look, but then like make it whiter. Yeah, we're talking like white. Like that works. That works. Trying to make sure they're the same color. And then beard, you know, I mean, we're gonna be up in there. The man might need a better beard than what he had, but honestly, like that, you know, matches there. So maybe we keep that beard, you know, just so we match up with our thing a little bit. We turn it white though. He's a little bit older. This picture was taken a long time ago. He's lying on his Tinder application. It's not his fault. I mean, not bad. Oh, you can have multiple tattoos. Look at that. So if you want to like really just like deck them out in tattoos, you totally can. I think the classic black on a tattoo is fine. Question is, are we going for tattoos? Like we might be. What if we like, you know, okay, so like I had a character in my D&D game that used chains and stuff, and those would have been some sick tattoos on him. Mortis. Some skulls. Get him like a whole arm going on. Is that the same one? Yeah. I like that one. Let's do that. Okay. Get him a little back tattoo going on. Is that like the Astra Militarum sigil? I'm not really sure. I'm not really down with any face tattoos. I don't think you can really like, yeah, like that doesn't really do much, does it? I mean, you need to give him some like leg tats or something, or like a bigger back tat would be cool. Definitely needs to be some more tattoo options. Augmentations. Can't really see most of the face ones. I mean, he's been in some fights, you know, so he's an old man. He's been in some fights. He probably got to have some augmentations. Probably didn't get beat up that bad. Not really a fan of those, honestly.
I'll bring glory to my bloodline.
We have purified the battlefield of the enemy's taint.
Engage the engines.
Okay, I like that.
I will delight my masters with your demise.
The destination is known.
The destination is known.
Time for a rout! To arms!
I like this
I'll
one.
make it happen.
Yeah, pragmatic for sure for this guy. All right, so here is our home world. We've Death World, Voidborn, Hive World, Forge World, Imperium World, and Fortress World. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna look at these before I read the description of the worlds. Once per combat, when your wounds, can I like... Wounds are the measurement of how much punishment a character could take before suffering debilitating effects and ultimately death. Every character has a specified number of wounds. Characters can often increase their wounds by spending experience points and improving their characteristics such as toughness. Okay. So, how do I get out of this? There, okay, we go. Survival instinct. Once per combat, when the wounds of a Death World character drop below 30%, they gain plus 20% of their maximum wounds as temporary wounds. Death World characters also gain a plus 20% bonus to dodge and armor, while they have at least one temporary wound from any source. Doesn't sound too bad for a melee guy. Strength. How physically strong the character is affects the damage it inflicts from melee weapons and allows them to lift heavier objects. For each point in strength, characters will deal 1 additional damage with melee. Seems like we're going to want to go for strength. Agility measures a character's quickness, reflexes, and poise. High agility allows the character to manipulate delicate explosives with finesse or to keep their footing when crossing treacherous terrain. It improves the character's initiative, dodge chance, and reaction. If a character uses a melee weapon, their dodge reduction is equal to the half of their agility. Their dodge reduction. Parameter determines how much a character reduces enemies' chances to successfully dodge their attacks. Oh, so there's like a dodge reduction stat that I'll have that'll like, if they have a high dodge, it might not necessarily matter because I could have a high dodge reduction chance. I got you, okay. Fellowship represents a character's ability to interact with other creatures to deceive, charm, or befriend them. High Fellowship will help a character find a way to approach a gathering of unsociable servants or to effortlessly make deals with treacherous merchants. Persuasion, coercion, and commerce. Okay, so this is like our talking skill. Toughness defines how easily a character can shrug off injuries, as well as how easily they can resist toxins, poisonous environments, diseases, and other physical ailments. It increases the chances of resisting negative physical effects and the amount of character's wounds. For each bonus point of toughness, it gains 10% wounds. Affects the carouse skill. Intelligence is a measurement of the character's acumen, reason, and knowledge. Okay. And then we have these following talents will be available. So we don't get them, they'll just be available. 2% crit chance bleeding effect. 10% critical hit with axes, hammers, and las weapons. Every injury increases the Death World character's agility, but okay. So we can increase his agility and here's a willpower. Victors the ability to withstand the horrors of warp and terrors of space and the dreadful opponents they are bound to encounter in the Koronus Expanse. High willpower allows characters to exert control over a crowd or interrogate a heretic. It also increases the chance of resisting negative mental effects. Lifetime of Scars. Take their tough bonus, less damage from flame, toxic, and bleeding effects. Okay. Once per combat, when a Death World character is suffering from a stunned, blinded, or mobilized condition, this condition is ignored, and they gain 20% temporary wounds with their maximum wounds. Okay. Sounds like a pretty decent thing, but also you sacrifice a lot of, maybe it's, I don't know if 5's a lot, but it feels like a lot of like intelligence and fellowship. Voidborn. They get fortune. A Voidborn character can reroll any failed attack, dodge, parry, characteristic, or skill test with a 20% chance of success. This chance cannot be greater than the base success chance of the roll. Additionally, any enemy dodge or parry against the Voidborn character has a 20% chance to fail after a successful roll. That's kind of cool. It's your willpower and intelligence, but you lose strength. They get Bloody Mess. Anytime a Voidborn character scores a critical hit, there's a 10% chance to double the damage. Using a non-damaging ability on an ally grants that ally the ability to reroll any failed attack, dodge, parry characters. Okay, same thing as like their fortune, but it's like contagious. They give it to somebody else. Just Fleshman has a 20% chance to survive after suffering lethal damage, surviving with 1 wound. While the Voidborn has more than 50% wounds, all chances of all creatures in a 3-cell race are increased by 10%. Ew, no, I'm good. It says even enemies. Anytime an ability or talent uses Fellowship, a Voidborn character can instead use their intelligence bonus if it's higher. Neat. Hive World. Strength in numbers. gain +1 fellowship bonus divided by 2. Resolve if there are 3 or more creatures, allies, or enemies in a 3 scale radius. So for a -2 if there are no creatures. And what is resolve? Resolve influences how efficiently and for how long characters can fight in battle. It determines the amount of momentum gained at the beginning of each turn for killing an enemy. And what's momentum? Players can use unique abilities. In battle, the level of momentum changes depending on the actions of the character. The momentum gauge is 175 or more. Any character using a heroic act. Momentum drops 25. Your party will gain the ability to use desperate measures. Okay. Interesting. Camaraderie. Five-world characters can pass voidship resistance tests using their fellowship. So this is like the fellowship class. Five-world character has melee superiority against an enemy. What is melee superiority? In the combat, any character target surrounded by more allies than enemies receives a +10 weapon skill bonus for each additional ally. Larger creatures need to be surrounded by more than 2 enemies. Okay. Personalization, all ranged weapons dealing physical damage at +1. Okay. Helping hand, if a hive character starts their turn adjacent to an ally, the hive world character gets +2 MP, movement points, I'm sure. 50% dodge on the first attack of opportunity every round. Okay. Forge world, intelligence and toughness. Not bad options. We lose fellowship, which we don't really care about. We don't get the strength bonus. They don't get an opening skill like they do. They don't get a feature. The first attack in combat with any plasma melter or power weapon deals additional damage equal to their int. Okay. Forge characters gain plus toughness deflection against burning effects and flames. Wearing heavy armor, forge world characters gain +1 MP and +1 deflection, cannot fall prone. I'm assuming we'll end up in heavy armor. Forgeable characters gain a stacking +10% bonus to hit chance and dodge reduction against any target they hit with a single target attack. Successful critical hits from single target attacks increase the hit chance and dodge reduction by 20%. Forgeable characters can use persuasion, coercion, and commerce based on intelligence instead of fellowship. Interesting. Imperial world. They get humanity's finest. Imperial world characters can select any characteristic except for weapon skill or ballistic skill and add a +10 bonus. Okay, so it's just like interesting. So you get weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness, agility, intelligence, powers. Okay, they didn't highlight strength there, maybe because it's here. Close combat and ranged combat is what I figured. Cool. Very neat, very neat. No bonuses or negatives to any stats, so very like interesting pick there. You pick that because of this. Instead of getting like 2 +5s and some negatives, they get 1 big +10. When Imperial, kind of an interesting option. When Imperial world characters affected by an ally's non-damaging ability or affects an ally with such ability, their resolve is increased by their fellowship bonus divided by 2 for 1 round. While under 40% wounds, Imperial world characters gain +10 bonus to all characteristics and +2 to resolve. We might be under that a lot. If no character in the current party has the same archetype as this character, the first use of any ability from this archetype costs -1 AP. Action points, I'm sure. Imperial world characters gain 10% crit chance and 10% armor against xenos or demonic creatures. Their allies gain half the bonuses of No Heresy. The Imperial world characters Lord Xenos and Lord Warp are 0. All allies, excluding Xenos, we can have Xeno allies, interesting, in the current party gain +5 to the same characteristic was chosen as humanity's finest. So this is like a really cool, like, buff everybody homeworld. Neat. And then Fortress World, never stop shooting. Each time a Fortress World character kills an enemy, they gain +10 stacks of never stop shooting. At the start of their turn, there is a stacks of never stop shooting % chance that the first attack this round will cost 0 AP and will not count towards the attack limit. Oh, that's kind of, this is like the Imperial Guard, like you picked it, just keep shooting. +5 perception describes how well the character perceives their surroundings. Characters with high perception can pick out a stray bolter shell casing in between the day-to-day morass of an underhive, or even tell when someone's being deceitful. Neat. Combat addict. Fortress world characters gain +7 ballistic skill, perception, and willpower while in combat. Yet while out of combat, their intelligence, fellowship, perception, and willpower are decreased. So Interesting. Hail of Steel. Each round, Fortress World characters gain a stacking 1% dodge bonus against ranged attacks for each shot they made during this round. Also, the burst attack grants an additional plus 10 stacks of never stop shooting. At the end of their turn, Fortress World characters gain stacks of never stop shooting equal to half the minimum damage of the most damaged ranged weapon they use this round. Spare magazine. First reload in combat costs 0 AP. Reloading weapon grants an additional plus 10 stacks of never stop shooting. Never stop believing. When all stacks never stop shooting should be lost, they become weapon willpower. Okay, willpower divided by 2. I didn't know if that was weapon or ballistic skill. It was ballistic skill and weapon skill, not WP. That makes sense. It's willpower. Additionally, first character may upgrade their willpower characteristics even their current archetype does not allow it. Okay. So I think I am between Imperial World, Forge World, and Death World. The only reason I don't want to use Death World is because of the negative to intelligence. But other than that, it's really good, and I don't mind losing the Fellowship, honestly. You know, I think we're gonna go Death World. On Death World, the plants, beasts, and sometimes even the environment itself take aggressive and destructive forms inimical to human life. Whilst exceptionally difficult to colonize, many Death Worlds possess valuable resources that require an outpost or other human presence upon the planet's surface to harvest. These harsh environments result in some of the hardiest and most resilient populations in the galaxy. Those tested and found wanting die young. All right, now we get to pick our origin, so a bunch more stuff to read. Awesome. The Astra Militarum Commander gains regimental tactics. The Astra Militarum Commander and all their allies deal an additional 20 plus 2 times perception bonus percentage of damage to enemies that are adjacent to their commander or their allies. Ballistic skill, perception, athletics, and athletics is ability to traverse difficult terrain, makes sense. Medicine, cure injuries and stuff, makes sense. So they get characteristic modifiers. They get these. They get 5 ballistic, 5 perception, and then after origin advancement, they'll gain Medicae and perception more and all these talents. We're not picking Astra Militarum Commander, I don't think. It's ballistic based. I don't really want to be ballistic based. Commissar. Tempting. At all costs. The Commissar's next single shot or single melee attack applies the following effect. Enemy target. The target becomes marked. The ally who gets the marked enemy gains an additional turn after the current one with plus 2 AP and plus 2 MP. You only use once per combat. Gains weapon skill and fellowship. I'm not extremely interested in fellowship. Gains coercion, ability to manipulate, and athletics. Not necessarily. We might come back and read this. I'm not really interested in Commissar either so far. Crime Lord. Surefire plan. Start of combat, the Crime Lord gains an int bonus stacks plus int bonus stacks, and we lost int, right? We lost int in fellowship. Plus int bonus stacks of the Surefire plan effect. Activation of the ability consumes 1 stack and makes the next action stronger depending on the action type. They attack, they deal plus 10 perception bonus percentage more damage. If the Crime Lord moves, they do plus 10 percentage dodge and parry until their next turn, and if they use a non-damaging ability, he suffers a minus 10 int percentage penalty to damage for 1 round. Logic. Rational arguments more convincing. Toughness. I don't really want to be a priest, but we'll still read this part. Grants momentum equal to 2 times the devotee's willpower bonus. This ability also grants additional willpower bonus momentum for each enemy that is either in a 5-cell radius around the priest or was hit by the priest this turn. So you get toughness and willpower, lore Imperium, and Medicae, and then these things. Navy officer. Brace for impact. For 1 round, the Navy officer and their allies in a 3-cell radius get plus 2 deflection for each archetype taken by the Navy officer. I don't even know what archetypes are yet, but interesting. Agility and fellowship, commerce, and demolition. Well, demolition, interesting skill to get there. Cool. Noble. You serve me. The noble assigns one ally who will become their servant until the end of combat. Anytime the noble's abilities affect the servant gains +5 to all characteristics. Anytime the servant attacks a target the noble dealt damage to, the servant gains +10. Okay. Intelligence, fellowship, coercion, and persuasion. Sanctioned psyker. -20% chance to reduce the psychic phenomenon. Is a psyker, albeit quite a weak one. Toughness up, willpower up, lore warp. It's affected by your intelligence skill and carouse. I mean, I'm not really interested in that. Not really interested in that. Kind of interested in that, but I don't really know what archetypes are yet. Warhim could be a thing. I'm thinking maybe Crime Lord, honestly. But the negative to int followed by the bonus to logic throws me off. Could also go, so we got negative to intelligence and fellowship, which means the two cool dude, let's read these. Allies unaffected at all costs. Ally suffers +50% damage, gains 2 MP. Okay. Change the enemy. All their allies gain the fellowship bonus divided by 2 is resolve. Anytime the commissary grants additional movement points to an ally character, they gain 2 more. Commissary kills the target at all costs. They can use it at all costs once more. When momentum is less than 100 points, killing the marked enemy or targeting an ally grants 20. Okay. Let's read yours. Killing plan. The bonus damage of Surefire Plan is increased by +2. Killing 20 attack restores 1 stack of Surefire Plan. In Surefire Plan, we had all those different things that they could do. Okay. Escape Plan. The bonus to dodge. So it's the same thing as that. Disorienting Plan, and that's the same thing. Contingency Plan. At the start of the turn, the Crime Lord has no Surefire Plan. They gain 1. The last plan. Once per combat, if the Crime Lord has at least 1 stack of Surefire Plan, they do not die from lethal damage, so they heal. Okay. I mean, that sounds pretty good. And we'll read yours as well, because you were a contender as well. All enemies in the area effective war must gain 1 stack of disturbed effect. So it's disturbed. Minus and penalty willpower fellowship tests. Okay. And they gain +2 stacks of disturbed instead. All demons in the area effect suffer damage equal to momentum restored. Oh, okay. The devotee and their allies in the area of the War of Him, a furious recital, gain that damage for single shots and attacks opportunity. The devotee gains +4 times willpower percentage bonus armor against attacks of demons and warp damage. The Emperor protects. Devotee grants weapon or willpower bonus percentage chance to ignore enemy attacks. Melee flame and melt attacks against demon psychers deal additional damage. I think we're gonna go Crime Lord. A triumph. No, let's read Crime Lord. The Imperium survives and prospers in no small part due to the narrowness of its vision, but a rebellious mind and will such as yours could not be so easily constrained. The dark paths of smugglers and renegades that wind behind the facade of the Imperium's society offer a dangerous refuge for those unwilling to bow to the law. You used to be one of these dangerous yet resourceful individuals. A triumph. Apex of Brilliance, you managed to corrupt an entire star system and turn it into your personal den of thieves. You get +5 logic, which logic was one of the things that we went into with Crime Lord. You stripped an ecclesiarchy cardinal of a priceless treasure that had been kept in one of the most secure sanctums of the Adeptus Metastorm. Imperium lore. You prevailed in a bloody shadow war against void pirates of your sector. Logic. Let's not do thieves. Let's do this one. I like that one. We'll take the logic boost though. Now the darkest hour. In an inauspicious deal with the wrong people resulted in the rise of a chaos cult and a horrific massacre of innocents. You were arrested and thoroughly interrogated using creative and violent methods. You turned your partners into the authorities and became known as a traitor. I mean, we're already like down in the. I mean, we're not very persuasive. Archetypes. You can only choose one of the first tier archetypes at this moment. Archetypes are development paths that your character follows. Each archetype encapsulates a unique set of skills and expertise and represents a specific combat specialization, from the frontline warrior to the indispensable leader to command from the rear. Choose what you want to be in the grim dark future. So we can be a warrior. Our combatants boasting exceptionally high melee prowess, capable of dealing high damage in close quarter combat and withstanding heavy amounts of damage. I mean, we're gonna be a warrior most likely, and then you can go into Vanguard. How do I go back? You can go into Vanguard, Assassin, or Arc Militant, and then everyone gets into Exemplar. I mean, we're gonna be a warrior. Let's look at the features. Charge, straight line, launches a melee attack. Daring Breach. Immediately gains all MP and agility bonus. Skill strength, agility, skills, cruise, athletics, courage. Got officer as well, operative, and very interesting. We're gonna go warrior. Now we get to look at our skills here. So strength need to go up, so we can only take it to 45. It looks like weapon skill need to go up. Toughness need to go up. I think that's honestly, you know, banking on that. I'm okay with this. The only thing about it is like our stuff does kind of go down a little bit because of, you know, some things. We're a little aware though, you know, we got some boosts here and there. I think that's good. I think that's how I want it. Okay, and then we get to pick our void ship. Interesting. Sword class frigate is a classic combat ship design proven in thousands of battles, combining decent firepower, high speed, and respectable survivability. Or a firestorm class frigate. Modification designed to deliver fire strike against large enemy ships, but not shying away from engagements with a superior vessel. Yeah, let's do that one. That sounds neat. The result. Yeah, that's fine. Rogue trader? No, not rogue trader. Gregor. That's our guy. Okay. Sounds good to me. That's gonna be our character creation, guys. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. But it is what it is. That's gonna do it for this one. I hope to see you guys in the future, or hopefully we can make it through this. See you guys then. Peace.